America's global policy prioritizes national security and economic interests through measures like sanctions and military aid, aiming to foster a safer and more prosperous world. This approach also emphasizes countering authoritarianism and terrorism, ensuring that democratic values and human rights are upheld internationally. U.S. wars. Spanish-American War, 1898, sparked by the explosion of the USS Maine in Havana Harbor and U.S. support for Cuban independence from Spain. Result: U.S. territorial gains in the Caribbean and Pacific. World War I, 1917 to 1918. U.S. entered the war due to unrestricted submarine warfare by Germany and the Zimmermann Telegram. Result: strengthened U.S. role in global affairs and led to the Treaty of Versailles. Haiti occupation, 1915 to 1934, stabilization amid political instability. Result: control over Haitian finances and governance. Dominican Republic, 1916 to 1924, restore order during political turmoil. Result: U.S. control over Dominican affairs. World War II, 1941 to 1945, U.S. involvement began after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Result: defeat of Axis powers and establishment of the U.S. as a superpower. Korean War, 1950 to 1953, initiated in response to North Korea's invasion of South Korea. Result: stalemate and division of Korea along the 38th parallel. Vietnam War, 1955 to 1975, driven by the desire to prevent the spread of communism in Southeast Asia. Result: fall of Saigon and reunification of Vietnam under communist control. Gulf War, 1990 to 1991, triggered by Iraq's invasion of Kuwait. Result: liberation of Kuwait and a shift in U.S. military presence in the Middle East. Kuwait, 1991, military intervention during the Gulf War. Result: liberation of Kuwait and regional stability. War in Afghanistan, 2001 to 2021, launched in response to the September 11th attacks. Result: dismantling of Al-Qaeda and prolonged conflict with the Taliban. Iraq War, 2003 to 2011, initiated based on claims of weapons of mass destruction, WMDs. Result: ousting of Saddam Hussein and ongoing instability. Libya, 2011, NATO-led intervention during the uprising against Muammar Gaddafi. Result: regime change and ongoing instability. Syria, 2014-present, military operations against ISIS and support for opposition groups. Result: continued conflict and regional instability. Coups. Iran, 1953, overthrow of Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh to secure oil interests. Result: reinstatement of the Shah and long-term U.S.-Iran tensions. Guatemala, 1954, removal of President Jacobo Arbenz due to threats to U.S. business interests. Result: decades of civil conflict and instability. Brazil, 1964, support for the military coup against President João Goulart. Result: establishment of a military dictatorship. Chile, 1973, support for the coup against President Salvador Allende. Result: rise of Augusto Pinochet's dictatorship. Haiti, 1991, support for the coup against President Jean-Bertrand Aristide. Result: subsequent intervention to restore Aristide. Honduras, 2009, support for the coup against President Manuel Zelaya. Result: ongoing political instability. Interventions. Haiti occupation, 1915 to 1934, stabilization amid political instability. Result: control over Haitian finances and governance. Dominican Republic, 1916 to 1924, restore order during political turmoil. Result: U.S. control over Dominican affairs. Kuwait, 1991, military intervention during the Gulf War. Result: liberation of Kuwait and regional stability. Somalia, 1992 to 1993, humanitarian intervention to address famine and civil war. Result: escalation into conflict with warlords. Kosovo, 1999, NATO intervention to stop ethnic cleansing. Result: protection of civilians and eventual independence for Kosovo. Libya, 2011, NATO-led intervention during the uprising against Muammar Gaddafi. Result: regime change and ongoing instability. Syria, 2014-present, military operations against ISIS and support for opposition groups. Result: continued conflict and regional instability. Countries supported by the U.S. Ukraine, financial and military aid in response to Russia's invasion. Israel, military aid and defense cooperation. Saudi Arabia, military assistance in the conflict in Yemen. Jordan, financial and military aid for counter-terrorism. Egypt, military aid focused on counter-terrorism. Syria, military aid to Kurdish forces against ISIS. Afghanistan, post-2021, continued financial and humanitarian assistance. Colombia, military and financial aid to combat drug trafficking. Iraq, military assistance in the fight against ISIS. Taiwan, military aid and arms sales. Philippines, military assistance for counter-terrorism operations. Niger, military aid for counter-terrorism efforts. Conclusion: America's global policy focuses on national security and economic interests through military interventions and support for allies. While aimed at promoting stability and democracy, these actions have often led to complex challenges and regional instabilities. Balancing security and the consequences of intervention remains a key issue for the U.S. on the world stage. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to leave a comment below with your thoughts or any suggestions for future videos. Until next time, take care and see you in the next video.